Hey guys, um, I know that this year has been different than a lot of other years in the sense that we have had to do a lot of our shopping maybe online this year, or maybe you've just been picking up things before, but you know all about when you buy a lot of things now, they have to be put together or assembled, and sometimes quite a bit of assembly, especially if it's like a piece of exercise equipment or a piece of furniture or bookshelves or things like that. And if you are familiar with that sort of thing, I know you've also seen these things. These instruction lists that come in those boxes that have all the parts and all the wrenches and the bolts and the tools and everything that you need for each piece for the assembly of whatever it is. And you know, when you open that up and you look at all that and you kind of get an idea of to make sure that everything is there before you tie into it, then after you get into it, then you may be the kind of person who makes sure that you check everything and go step by step, 1, 2, and 3, and follow the pictures. Sometimes they're not very good, or you may be the kind of person who just likes to kind of do a jigsaw puzzle kind of assembly and do what you can with it. But I do know that if you do kind of just put things together, and sometimes even with the instructions, it's not easy. Sometimes you'll put the wrong bolt in a joint and a screw hole or whatever, and turns out later in the assembly, you look around and you don't have the right bolt, or you've put the wrong bolt in somewhere else. And so that reminds me of a lot of things about life. You know, God promises us that He will supply all of our needs. And every one of us has needs, and we have needs for money for our bills. We need time to do certain things. We need people. We need relationships. We need people to love us. We need people in our lives that way. And so God has promised to meet all of those true needs. Now, we all have wants that are above and beyond our needs, and sometimes we get carried away with that, and we get to thinking about that too much. I know one time a few years ago, way in the night, I get a call, and it's so late that I'm thinking it must be something really bad, because it's late enough to where usually if somebody calls you this late, there's big trouble. So I answer the phone, and it's a guy that I know, and he calls me to ask me if I would co-sign for him to buy this really fancy mattress. Now, let me tell you something. God will take care of your needs, but He does not promise to give anybody enough money to buy anything you want, or enough time to do anything you want, or enough people in your life to just ignore them and neglect the people in your life. Every time that God gives you what you need, He expects you to use that where it's needed. Now, if I take the money that God has given me to pay my bills and feed my family and do these things, and I spend it on stuff I like or just want, then I'll probably still suffer need. If I take the time that I need to do a job or do a project, or if you're taking a class and time you need to study to get an A and you spend it scrolling on your phone or playing a video game, or if God's put people in your life and you need a spouse or you need a friend or you need someone close to you, and those people are in your life, but you ignore them and you're chasing after somebody else who doesn't care at all for you, then you're still going to be living with that need every day. And even though God's provided it, you're going to think He hasn't. So what I'm saying to you today is that if you see a need in your life and you're aware of one, do like I do whenever I come up with needing a bolt that's not there when I'm putting something together. I go back and I look around and I see where that bolt is, because I know that bolt's there. I've just put it in the wrong place. And take a look at your life when you see a need. I can assure you God has provided that need, has met that need some way. It's there. You just got to look for it and make sure that you're not using it for something else, or you're not overlooking it or wasting your time with something you don't need, or using your needs to try to meet your wants. I know God has what you need, and I know He'll provide it. You just look around and it's there.